The film commences with the depiction of a courageous and revered king, Vlad, who despite his age, commands admiration and respect. During one of his routine expeditions to the jungle, Vlad discovers a helmet belonging to an enemy soldier from a rival nation. This revelation leads him to discern that enemy forces have infiltrated his country, employing spies to gather intelligence and potentially plan an attack. Recognizing the gravity of the situation, Vlad deduces that the enemy might be concealed atop the highest mountain within their territory. Determined to thwart the enemy's plans, Vlad and his companions embark on a perilous journey to the mountain, aiming to eliminate the spies and prevent their messages from reaching their king. Upon reaching the mountain's confines, they encounter a formidable adversary, an ancient and malevolent vampire. Despite their valiant efforts to engage the vampire in combat, their attempts are futile as the vampire swiftly overwhelms and dispatches Vlad's companions, leaving Vlad in a perilous position. Fortuitously, Vlad retreats to an area bathed in sunlight, where the vampire, vulnerable to sunlight, cannot pursue him, sparing Vlad's life. Upon his return to the palace, a perturbed Vlad seeks counsel from his trusted priest, seeking to understand the nature of the monstrous creature he encountered. The priest elucidates that the mountain harbors a demonic entity, a bloodthirsty vampire that was once a human. Succumbing to the influence of a malevolent force, this human had transformed into the vampire that wreaked havoc upon Vlad and his companions, feeding on their blood and exhibiting supernatural prowess. The revelation of this demonic presence unsettles Vlad, prompting him to contemplate the impending threat posed by the vampire, and the depth of peril it may bring upon his kingdom. This encounter with the vampire marks the beginning of Vlad's arduous and perilous journey against an ancient and formidable supernatural adversary, setting the stage for a compelling tale of bravery, darkness, and the battle between humanity and the supernatural forces that threaten it. Trapped within the confines of the mountain for countless years, the vampire's only path to freedom lies in passing on his dark powers to another individual, thereby creating a successor to inherit his vampiric legacy. Yet, finding a suitable candidate, one whose mindset aligns with the vampire's malevolent intentions, remains an elusive quest. Desperate to maintain secrecy regarding his existence and the haunting reality of his powers, the vampire implores the priest to safeguard this knowledge, understanding the terror and chaos that might ensue should the truth be exposed to the populace. He recognizes the solace found in ignorance, urging the priest to keep this ominous truth veiled from the world. Amidst the tranquility of Vlad's castle, a sudden intrusion disrupts the serenity. A soldier from the formidable nation of Turkey, known for its strength and dominance over smaller territories, arrives, demanding the customary tributes of gold and silver from Vlad's realm. Reluctantly, Vlad complies, surrendering the demanded treasures to appease the formidable Turkish forces. However, matters escalate when the soldier reveals a further demand: the conscription of 100 young men from Vlad's domain to bolster the Turkish army. Firmly refusing to sacrifice his men, Vlad rebukes the archaic practice and insists on diplomatic dialogue with the Turkish king, Mehmed. In a tense meeting with King Mehmed, Vlad endeavors to negotiate, seeking an amicable resolution. However, Mehmed remains resolute in his demand for the conscription of 100 men, including Vlad's own son, an ultimatum that ignites a firestorm within Vlad. Consumed by fury and fear for his son's safety, Vlad's anguish boils over, leading to a tragic and violent outburst. In a moment of desperation and anguish, he takes up his sword, lashing out in an impulsive act that results in the slaughter of Turkish soldiers who dared to threaten the separation of Vlad from his beloved son. This catastrophic event, fueled by a father's unwavering love and desperation, sets in motion a harrowing tale of escalating conflict and unyielding resolve, pitting kingdoms and fathers against each other in a battle fueled by passion and defiance. The atmosphere swirled with tension as Vlad's impulsive act of defiance against Mehmed's soldiers threatened to unleash the fury of a looming retaliation. Confronted by a concerned companion warning of the impending doom his actions had invited, Vlad, undeterred, remained resolute in his determination to protect his land and people. Faced with the imminent threat of Mehmed's retribution, Vlad, driven by desperation and a fervent need to safeguard his realm, sought an unconventional ally in the very mountain that harbored the enigmatic vampire. With his country on the brink of destruction, Vlad ventured into the heart of darkness, seeking an alliance born of necessity. A fateful convergence of needs emerged. Vlad yearned for the power to defend his kingdom, while the vampire sought liberation from the cursed existence of vampirism. A haunting pact unfolded, binding their destinies together in a macabre ritual. The vampire offered his potent blood to Vlad, a transfusion of power that promised dominion over armies and an unmatched prowess in battle. The grim terms of their agreement were set. Vlad would inherit the vampire's abilities, transforming into a powerful force capable of vanquishing even the most formidable of adversaries. However, a precarious balance hung in the balance. The vampire's freedom hinged on Vlad's adherence to a solemn vow. To reclaim his humanity, Vlad had to resist consuming human blood for 3 days, or risk being forever bound to the vampiric curse, granting the vampire his long-awaited liberation. In a daring bid to save his homeland, Vlad, fueled by his unwavering determination, accepted the haunting pact and imbibed the potent elixir, succumbing to unconsciousness as the supernatural forces coursed through his veins. Awakening in a forest, Vlad experienced an otherworldly transformation. A newfound strength surged within him, accompanied by a legion of bats at his command, creatures lending themselves to his will, bestowing upon him unparalleled powers. Returning to his besieged castle, Vlad found himself facing the onslaught of Maimad's soldiers. Alone, he confronted the army, wielding sword, spear, and an otherworldly prowess. A symphony of violence unfolded as Vlad, now imbued with supernatural abilities, single-handedly battled against an overwhelming force. In a whirlwind of determination and superhuman prowess, he emerged victorious, decimating the entire Turkish army. This cataclysmic display of power marked the inception of a legend, where one man, fortified by a ghastly pact, stood against an army and triumphed, a harbinger of both awe and terror, bound by a promise that would shape his destiny. The aura of mystery surrounding Vlad's unfathomable prowess swirled among his companions upon his return, yet he maintained an impenetrable silence, veiling his transformative encounter in secrecy. Meanwhile, news of Vlad's staggering triumph against the Turkish soldiers reached Maimad, stoking the fires of vengeance within him. Determined to obliterate Transylvania, Maimad marshaled an army, fueled by an insatiable desire for retribution. Unbeknownst to many, including his wife and allies, Vlad grappled with the weight of a haunting secret, a cursed existence as a vampire. Seeking a means to break free from the vampiric chains, Vlad sought solace in a daring plan, urging his loved ones to seek refuge in the safety of the church nestled in the jungle. Vlad assured them of his eventual reunion under the cloak of night, concealing his true motive to protect them from both external enemies and the looming threat he posed as a vampire. As dusk settled, Vlad's soldiers embarked on their journey towards the sanctuary of the church, only to be ambushed by Maimad's Turkish soldiers along the way. Vlad, unable to accompany them due to the constraints of daylight, arrived in the midst of the skirmish, unleashing a relentless assault against the Turkish invaders. A brutal clash ensued, each strike a testament to Vlad's otherworldly strength as he decimated the opposition, reclaiming the battlefield in a symphony of chaos and bloodshed. Word of Vlad's ungodly abilities spread like wildfire, sowing fear and doubt within Maimad's army. The pervasive belief that Vlad was an insurmountable force, impervious to defeat, instilled dread in the hearts of Maimad's soldiers, eroding their morale and sowing dissent among their ranks. Maimad grappled with the dilemma of facing an adversary deemed invincible, a choice between confronting an unparalleled threat or retreating in the face of overwhelming fear. Despite the escalating tension and the specter of an impending conflict, Vlad's struggle with his vampiric nature remained shrouded in secrecy. As the stakes heightened and the clash between empires loomed on the horizon, the fate of nations teetered on the edge, entwined with the enigmatic destiny of one man. Vlad, the warrior who straddled the realms of legend and horror, a harbinger of chaos and retribution in a world torn asunder by the clash of titans. The tempest of tragedy engulfed Vlad's life as he grappled with the weight of betrayal and loss. Unbeknownst to him, his own people, driven by fear and misunderstanding, turned against their once beloved leader. Locked in a room and engulfed in flames by those he sought to protect, Vlad's resilience as a vampire proved his salvation. He emerged unscathed, haunted by the bitter reality of his people's rejection. In the wake of this turmoil, Maimad's soldiers, driven by the mandate of war, encroached upon Vlad's realm. Knowing his forces were outnumbered, Vlad marshaled his unique powers, commanding a legion of bats in a relentless assault against the invading army. Despite his efforts, a covert infiltration of Maimad's soldiers into the castle led to a tragic outcome. Vlad's wife perished at their hands, and his son was abducted. Desperation and grief coursed through Vlad as he witnessed the imminent demise of his beloved wife. In a heart-wrenching moment, she implored him to consume her blood, a sacrifice that would bind him eternally to his vampiric nature, ensuring his ability to save their son. Despite his reluctance, Vlad succumbed to the plea, his anguish mirrored by the tears cascading down his cheeks as he drank her blood, sealing his fate as an eternal vampire. Transformed and burdened by the weight of his new existence, Vlad sought to empower his companions with his blood, granting them the strength to confront their enemies. As they waged a fierce battle, Vlad wielded his powers, manipulating the sunlight to obscure the battlefield, a strategic advantage in the conflict against Mehmad's soldiers. In this cataclysmic clash between nations, Vlad's transformation into an eternal vampire heralded the conclusion of one chapter and the commencement of an eternity shrouded in darkness. The echoes of sacrifice and the crimson trail of blood bore witness to a tumultuous saga of love, betrayal, and the irrevocable price paid for power and protection. The climax crescendoed into a chilling showdown between Vlad and Mehmed, their fates entwined in a confrontation fraught with animosity and trepidation. Mehmed, aware of Vlad's vampiric nature, sought refuge in the gleaming sanctuary of silver coins, exploiting the vampire's vulnerability to the metal. This strategic maneuver weakened Vlad, setting the stage for an arduous battle. Amidst the clash, Vlad's unwavering determination prevailed, culminating in Mehmed's demise, a hard-won victory bathed in anguish and bloodshed. With his son liberated, Vlad faced an imminent threat. The treacherous desires of his companions turned vampires, intent on sacrificing the child for sustenance. A harrowing moment unfolded as one of Vlad's own, consumed by the vampiric thirst, advanced to end the life of his son. Vlad's reaction was swift and desperate, sacrificing his comrade to protect his progeny. The chilling aftermath froze the others in terror, leaving them paralyzed in the face of Vlad's stark resolve. The priest, a beacon of solace amidst the chaos, intervened, guiding Vlad's son to safety, shielding him from the looming darkness that had enveloped their lives. Driven by a dire necessity, Vlad wielded his formidable powers once more, manipulating the heavens to shroud the sun and veil the land in a semblance of night. However, in a poignant and self-sacrificial act, Vlad dispelled the clouds, allowing the sunlight to pierce through, initiating an inevitable and tragic demise for all vampires, including himself. As the sunlight engulfed the battlefield, a solemn curtain fell upon the vampire clan, their lives extinguished in the fiery glow of the sun's rays. Vlad, hero and martyr, shared their fate, succumbing to the fatal touch of daylight. In the wake of the catastrophic culmination, the mantle of leadership passed to Vlad's son, an heir thrust into the weighty responsibility of ruling Transylvania. Yet, in a cryptic and unexpected denouement, the priest, an enigmatic figure in Vlad's life, appeared once more, offering the elixir of life, his blood, to revive the fallen protagonist. With a poignant resurrection, the movie concluded, leaving behind a haunting aura of sacrifice and sorrow, a testament to the sacrifices made in the name of love, protection, and the grim complexities of existence. And there you have it, the ending of Dracula Untold. A tale of power, darkness, and sacrifice that adds a fresh perspective to the iconic Dracula legend. What are your thoughts on the conclusion? Share your opinions in the comments below. And if you enjoyed this recap, don't forget to like and subscribe for more movie discussions. Until next time, happy watching.